Okay. Please read.
The entire issue was so complicated that those who were not strong enough forgot their positions, and thus cursing and counter cursing went on in that great assembly. In other words, the material field is so unsteady that even personalities like Nandishwara, Daksha, and many of the Brahmanas present were infected by the atmosphere of anger.
Yeah, so Prabhupada actually makes a very important point, that those who are not strong enough forgot their position. This is a very important point. Uh, that we should never forget our position. What is our position? Huh? Yeah, Jiva Sarupahai Krishna Nitya Das, Gopi Padakamalayar Dasa Dasana Das. So even though we are called Das, we are called Das, but people call us what? Prabhu. So it is generally easy for us to forget that we are Das and think that we are Prabhu, because nobody calls us Das. Everybody calls us Prabhu. Uh, but we forget that we also call everybody Prabhu. We forget that point, that we also call everybody Prabhu. That means we are supposed to be their Das. So this is the problem. Everything starts with this, that we are not strong enough to remember our position. Our original position, constitutional position, we are strong enough, we are not strong enough to remember that. Rather, we always remember our material position. But the material field is what? It is so unsteady. Prabhupada says material field is very unsteady. And then great personalities can get carried away also. Anger always has to be very, anger is very difficult in Krishna consciousness. We should, especially in assembly of devotees, we should try to avoid anger. We should not try to become angry. Yes? But what happens that when we practice anger, then it becomes habit. We practice inside also. We practice inside also. Very difficult. Okay, I have some notes. What is this? These curses are under effect till now, either by disrespecting Lord Shiva or by disrespecting regulative principles of the Vedas. One will come under these curses even now, as these curses are still current. So we should be very careful that this was a generic curse which was given. So it was not like a specific curse. So therefore, the curse is effect even till now. When we disrespect Lord Shiva, then we can become subject to this curse. Okay. So, yes.
Head of goat.
Mm.
He should have got the head of monkey or maybe pigeon.
Yeah, it's true. But monkey and pigeon, they are little bit more intelligent than the goat. Goat is attached to sex life and it is also less intelligent. Goat is an animal which is attached to sex life and is also very less intelligent. So that's why when we become very proud, then we should understand that we have got goat head. Yeah, that is Kali Yuga, no? People want to become goat. They say the greatest of all times, right? But who is the greatest of all times? Krishna is the greatest of all times. So if a conditioned soul wants to think I am greatest of all times, he is naturally goat only. So they themselves are accepting that also, that I am goat. This is Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, people are very proud to be goat. Very proud to be goat. So sometimes Krishna is like a very transcendental joker. So he makes jokes like this. These are all practical jokes of Krishna. That people are so crazy that they call themselves goat. And we know what goat means. Daksha gets goat head. Okay. Please read.
Vedic promise, Vedic promises of elevation to higher planets for a better standard of materialistic life are compared to a flowery language, because in a flower there is certainly an aroma, but the aroma does not last for a very long time. In a flower there is honey, but that honey is not eternal.
Okay.
The third curse inflicted by Nandishwar and the Brahmanas who supported Daksha is completely functioning in the age of Kali.
Someone is asking whether this curse is still here. Proper confirms is completely functioning in the age of Kali. Okay. What is the duty of Brahmana? What is the duty of Brahmana? There's qualities of Brahmana. Duty of Brahmana.
Patan, yajan, yajan, dan, pratigran.
Patana,
Patan,
Yajana,
yaji,
Dana.
pratig.
This is duty of Brahmana. The other three are optional. Patana is duty. Yajana is duty. Dana is duty. Patana, Yajana and Pratigraha are optional. He can do or he need not do. Doesn't matter. But what is duty? Patana, Yajana and Dana. These three are duties of Brahmana. If you are second initiated, then you should know this. These three are duty. The other three are optional. You can do it or you need not do it. It is duty of a Brahmana to study scriptures. He has to. If his Brahmana means he should study Vedic scripture. Means that for us Vedic scripture means Prabhupada books. So for us Vedic scripture means Prabhupada books. If you are second initiated, then it is our duty to study Prabhupada books. It is our duty to study Prabhupada books. Okay. It is our duty to worship the deity. It is our duty to give the charity of the holy name to everybody. So it is our duty to preach. It's our duty to give charity of holy name to everybody. It is our duty to worship deity or assist in worshipping the deity. It is our duty to read Prabhupada books. These are all duties we should do. Rest is, the other three is optional. Other three is optional. You can do, you need not do also. Okay.
The Chaitanya Charitamrita confirms that which is accepted in this material world to be a benediction and that which is taken to be a curse are both on the same platform because they are material.
So what is that verse? So both are material, so therefore it's not like something great. Yeah.
Persons who have taken shelter of Krishna are always peaceful. They are never cursed by anyone, nor do they attempt to curse anyone. That is transcendental position.
So how Papa is saying they are never cursed by anyone? Huh? So even if someone attempts to curse them, Krishna makes it into a blessing. Chitraketu, Parikshit, Narada, here we can see Shiva also, that they may attempt to curse a Vaishnava, but Krishna makes that curse into a blessing. So nobody can curse a Vaishnava. Nobody can curse him and he will not curse anybody also. Even if he curses someone, that will be actually a blessing. Like Narada Muni's curse to Nalakvera and Manigriva. It's a blessing. Okay. Please read.
But no one has traced out when the Vedas were written, because they were never written by any living being within this material world. All other systems of knowledge are defective because they have been written or spoken by men or demigods who are products of this material creation. But Bhagavad Gita is apaurushaya, for it was not spoken by any human being or any demigod of this material creation. It was spoken by Lord Krishna, who is beyond material creation.
The Vedas are described as Setu, which means a bridge. If one wants to attain his spiritual existence, one has to cross an ocean of nescience. The Vedas are the bridge by which to cross such a great ocean.
The conclusion is that persons who rebel against the Vedic principles are themselves the evidence that the Vedas are authoritative, because by not following the Vedic principle, they become like animals. Such animalistic persons are themselves evidence of the supremacy of the Vedic regulations.
Yeah. So then we should understand that faith or Shraddha, it has two levels. First is Shastra Shraddha, and second is Bhakti Shraddha. Okay. Shastra Shraddha means to have faith that the Vedic literature is correct or it is axiomatic. Okay. What does it mean? It means that irrespective of contrary evidence by pratyaksha or anumana, we still have faith in Vedas. This is called Shastra Shraddha. Okay. So science may say something, or your own experience may something, or your inference of your experience may say something, but we have faith in Shastra. This is called Shastra Shraddha. And this platform is basic human platform. Without this, one cannot be human being. Without this, one cannot be human being. Okay. Then, better than Shastra Shraddha, or a higher platform of Shastra Shraddha is Bhakti Shraddha. What does Bhakti Shraddha constitute? It constitutes two things. One is that first understanding is that Vedas are saying Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Second, Vedas are saying that Prema Bhakti is the purpose of human life. This is called Bhakti Shraddha. This is called Bhakti Shraddha. That have clear faith that the Vedas are saying that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Vedas are saying that Prema Bhakti is the purpose of human life. So this is called Bhakti Shraddha. So when we have Shastra Shraddha, then we come to human platform. When we have Bhakti Shraddha, then we come to transcendental platform in Bhakti. Okay. So this is very important to understand. When this is compromised, then automatically this also will be compromised. That is why we say that one of the offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Every day we are saying this, because compromise on this will automatically compromise on this. That we will not be able to have the conviction that this is what we are supposed to do. So nowadays science is heavily challenging this. Science is heavily challenging this faith in the Shastra. Science is heavily challenging the faith in the Shastra. Like for example, people are going to moon. Now according to Shastra, moon is a heavenly planet. But people are going to moon. They cannot find any Somarasa there. They cannot find any living entities there. They cannot find any dancing girls there. So now what to do? Now what to do? Now what to do? No, they are showing in that they are landing in the moon. So they may go to moon or they may not go to moon, okay, but they did not get the benefit of going to moon. Okay. It's a very important point to understand. The benefit of going to moon is to actually have heavenly life. So it may be a debate whether they went to moon or they may not went to moon. Okay, let the debate keep happening. But it is very clear that they did not get the benefit of going to moon. If you go to a place and if you don't get the benefit of going to that place, then it is as good as not going to that place. Like for example, if someone comes to this temple, okay, and they don't see Radha Ras Bihari ji, they don't see Sita Lakshman Hanuman ji, and they don't see Gaur Nitai, and then they said, they go and tell, oh, I went to ISKCON Juhu. What is the use of coming to ISKCON Juhu? Like when I was working in Dubai, the first time I came here, I came for an inspection from Dubai to a place called Vapi. So, and I was supposed to meet one gentleman here in Mumbai, and then he was supposed to take me to Vapi. So I was put up in one hotel here, and I came to Juhu. By the time I came, that time temple was already closed. So I came here, the temple was closed, the gates are closed, everything is closed. I came here, I saw everything from outside and I went back. Because temple is closed, what can I do? I cannot do anything. I went back. Then I told my friend, that guy who came to pick me up, I said, I came to Mumbai with great hope that I can go and see Juhu temple, but I couldn't go there. He said, oh, but you went to the temple. I said, yeah, I went to the temple, but everything was closed. But he said, yeah, but still you went there. But still you went there. So I said, there's no use of going there. If you don't see the deities, if you don't see the deities, if you don't see, take darshan of the deities, what is the use of just going there? So like that, you can go to the moon, but if you don't get the benefit of going to the moon, what is the use of going there? There's no use of going there. So anyway, the point is that like this, there will be more and more challenges to the basic faith in Shastra. There will be more and more challenges to the basic faith in Shastra. So therefore, it is very important to understand that Shastra Shraddha is the basis of Bhakti Shraddha. Shastra Shraddha is the basis of Bhakti Shraddha. So we should have our faith in Shastra, we should have our faith in the words of Shastra. Sometimes we may be able to explain, sometimes we may not be able to explain. That is okay. That's not a problem. But lack of a logical explanation does not mean that should not translate to lack of faith. It's a very important thing. That sometimes we may be able to give or we may be able to hear a logical explanation. Sometimes we may not be able to hear a logical explanation, or we may not be able to give a logic. Okay? But that doesn't mean that we should not have faith. It's a very important thing to understand. So Prabhupada concludes here that those who are not the followers of Vedic principles are themselves the evidence that the Vedas are authoritative. He is saying that. And that is something which we can obviously see. That the moment there is no respect for Vedic principles, the whole society descends to an animal society. We can see that very easily. Just you have to step out of the. Sometimes even inside ISKCON is, I think, people who are. I'm not talking about those who are living here, but I'm saying people who are coming here. I saw today morning one lady was going with half shirts. I thought only Delhi temple had such privilege of getting ladies with half shirts. It looked like Bombay also that culture has come. First time I saw. Okay. Okay, please read.
He became morose because he knew that these people, both his man and Dakshas, were unnecessarily cursing and counter cursing one another without any interest in his spiritual life.
Yeah. So therefore he became very morose. Therefore he became very morose. Okay. Okay.
In other words, it may be assumed that if one does not
worship the demigods, even up to Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, one can nevertheless satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is honest may be faithful to the government, but he did not bribe the government servants. Bribery is illegal. One does not bribe the government servant, but that does not mean that he does not show respect to him. Similarly, one who engages in transcendental loving service to Supreme Lord need not worship the demigods, nor does he have any tendency to show disrespect to the demigod. This is very important. We should not think. Sometimes I have seen that ISKCON devotees, they are very disrespectful to demigods. Even while they preach also, they are very disrespectful to demigods. We should not be like that. We should not be disrespectful to them. अरे किधर गया मेरे भाई? Okay. Can you read?
by worshipping the Supreme Lord, one automatically serves all the demigods because they are parts and parcels of the whole. If one supplies water to the root of a tree, all the parts of the tree, such as the leaves and branches, are automatically satisfied. And if one supplies food to the stomach, all the limbs of the body, the hands, legs, fingers, etc., are nourished. Thus, by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can satisfy all the demigods, but by worshipping all the demigods, one does not completely worship the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So, you know the verse? Tateva sarvarhanam achyuteja. Okay, good. It's a verse to memorize. Okay, thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of 4th canto, 2nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Daksha Curses Lord Shiva. Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay. Any questions or any comments? Anything before we go to the next chapter? Yes. Yeah.
What should Lord Shiva would have, like, what should he have done, like we were present, that he didn't react?
He could have stopped Nandishwara from cursing. He could have told Nandishwara, hey, don't curse. Very simple. If he had stopped Nandishwara from cursing, then Bhrigu would not have cursed him back. Right? So, he just didn't stop Nandishwara from cursing. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. See, the responsibility of a mistake of the subordinate lies with the master. It's a very important lesson you should learn in management. It's a very important lesson you should learn in management. That if somebody under you does mistake, who is responsible? You are responsible. You cannot say, "Arey, that fellow did mistake." You should take responsibility first. Then you go and correct that person. but you should take responsibility. And you should take whatever correction which comes to that. Then you go and correct the other person. This is leadership. Leadership doesn't mean that, somebody under you, he does mistake, you take him royally and throw him under the bus. That's not leadership. Leadership means you should take responsibility. If somebody under you does mistake, first responsibility should be yours. You should take responsibility. So, Nandishwara didn't take permission. That doesn't matter. But it reflects on Lord Shiva. Like for example, somebody in ISKCON just doesn't behave properly. Then people will not blame that person. People will blame ISKCON wale ne aisa kar diya. That's what they will say. I was going with one devotee in the airport, and one CASF was checking some identity. And like this devotee next who came with me, he gave the identity. Then the CASF was somehow not satisfied with that. Then he asked for one more. Then he asked for one more. And this guy got little irritated. That he didn't show him his anger by words, but he showed his anger by action. So this CASF wala, he checked everything. Then finally he said, "आप लोग तो भगवान का है, आपको इतना गुस्सा शोभा नहीं देता." He said, "आप लोग तो भगवान का है, आपको इतना गुस्सा शोभा नहीं देता." So naturally, the responsibility of a subordinate goes to the leader. This is good leadership. This is good leadership. Then the subordinates will also feel protected. They will also feel protected. ठीक है, I am under a leader who has the ability to protect us, not that he will just throw us under the bus and he will walk off. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Correct. Correct. Because mode of passion has got a larger spectrum of activities, not only lust and anger. But lust and anger are very easy reasons why one would commit offense. Prominent reasons why would commit offense. But if one just works on mode of lust and anger and does not give up mode of passion, thinks that mode of passion is still good for me, then eventually he will become victim of lust and anger. So therefore, all the three are included. And Krishna gives enough warning about mode of passion, about kama and mode of passion. Krishna gives enough warning. He says, Jnana Vijnana Nashanam. He says, Jnana Vijnana Nashanam, not Jnana Vijnana Sahitam. That comes in the second canto for. He says Jnana Vijnana Nashanam. Means that it can destroy both knowledge and realization. That is the nature of mode of passion, and especially the nature of lust. So we should be very careful. Okay? Yes? See, it is very important to understand that if a Vaishnava is insulted, okay, then we should not keep quiet. Right? It's very important to understand this. If Vaishnava is insulted, then we should not keep quiet. We have to react. But we should react in such a way that is beneficial for everybody. We should not react in such a way that it becomes problematic for everybody. So, Nandiswara's tendency to react is not wrong, but the way he reacted is wrong. but the way he reacted is wrong. He could have asked Bhrigu that you are a Brahman and Lord Shiva, such a great personality, is getting cursed in front of you. Is it not your duty to do something to stop this? Correct, no? Correct, no? Instead of that, what he did? Oh, you fellow sitting quietly, I curse you. Take one curse. Be happy. Why? Because in the assembly of peers, there is always competition to establish superiority. In the assembly of peers, there is always competition to establish superiority. So we should be very careful in the assembly of peers that we should not become victim to this mentality to establish superiority. It is very easy to become victim to this mentality that I am better than you. I can curse you. I can show you your place. Or I can show my greatness to you. It's very, very easy to fall victim to that mentality. So that's more or less like an assembly of peers. So there, Nandishwara tried to establish his superiority. And then, naturally, Bhrigu tried to establish his superiority. So in the process, Krishna consciousness was lost. It became like a big exhibition of curses and counter curses. Yeah, he also didn't do anything. He also didn't do anything. Rather, he did something reverse. We will see in the next chapter. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. He did not react, but he should have reacted. That is the point. This point will become clear in the end. See, because there is no doubt that Lord Shiva is great. That's why I am saying that there is no doubt not only Lord Shiva, all these personalities are great. Okay? But we are trying to only draw lessons from how they behaved. And then Prabhupada, he actually in one purport glorifies Lord Shiva. But if you see in the end, when Lord Shiva is offering prayers to Vishnu, there Prabhupada is writing that all of them did mischief. Prabhupada is writing all of them did mischief. Okay, so it's not like, one person is not at fault. So you have to see. And it's obvious that he is a responsible person. And he had to show his responsibility, and he did not show that responsibility. Huh? Yeah. See, the point is that's why I'm saying that many of these things are like Prabhupada also writes in the purport. This is like more like an orchestrated play. It's not a serious thing. Like they're getting cursed, counter cursed. For them, this is not very serious. Ultimately, for them, it's not so serious. But it's more like an orchestrated play, so that we can understand various things that how to behave, how not to behave. All these things we can understand. So that's why these things are done. So naturally, all these people are exalted. Daksha is exalted, Bhrigu is exalted, and Shiva is exalted, Nandishwara is exalted. All these people are naturally exalted. But what happens is that when such things happen, it actually gives way for deterioration, because deterioration also has to happen, right? In Satyayuga, everything is nice. And then in Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, then things deteriorate with time. So there should be some way for deterioration to happen also, destruction to happen also. So these pastimes give way for these kind of things to happen. Now we see that followers of Lord Shiva are so bad, like the Brahmins are so materialistic. These things have to happen. So the seed of that is laid in that pastime. So that fructifies at the right time, and in the age of Kali, everything like manifests very badly, and then deterioration happens. So for everything there is reason. There nothing happens without reason. The Lord orchestrates everything for some reason or other, and then He makes them play various part, and then they all play their part. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhratya. Everybody plays their part, and then things happen. That's why it's very important to analyze the pastime without disrespecting the participants in the pastime. It's very important. That's why I keep saying that please don't think that these people are some ordinary people. And that's why I keep saying this. It's very, very easy to fall into the trap while analyzing the pastime. So that's why we have to be very careful to understand that they are all exalted personalities, but they are also doing all these things. Yeah. He should have stopped Daksha from cursing. See, everything started with Daksha, right? See, the whole thing started with Daksha. He could have stopped Daksha from cursing, and he could have punished Daksha himself if needed, because Daksha needed punishment. And finally, that's what happened, that Daksha got punished. Daksha got punished. But Brahma also, he understands that certain things have to happen for the creation to move forward. Certain events have to happen in a certain way for the creation to move forward. So then he also doesn't disturb. Like for example, Parikshit did not disturb Kali. He just let Kali go because he knows that this is how things are going to happen. So in that way, these personalities also should be seen from that perspective. They know that certain things are meant to happen, so they will happen. Okay. Let's get going. Now, next chapter talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. Okay. So, the most ideal husband and wife in the material world are going to fight with each other. Are going to fight with each other. Okay.
Maitreya continued, in this manner the tension between the father-in-law and son-in-law, Daksha and Lord Shiva, continued for a considerably long period.
So normally in the material world, we always hear tension between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. But in Bhagavatam, we have very unique tension between father-in-law and son-in-law. Very funny. Okay.
When Lord Brahma appointed Daksha, the chief of all the Prajapatis, the progenitors of population, Daksha became very much puffed up.
So what Brahma did? Brahma gave Daksha promotion also. Okay, I have some notes. The root of Kutinati is Pratishtha, the desire for a prominent position either positively or negatively. Low self-esteem is cheap version of pride, an inexpensive version of bragging. Actual humility is that one has true esteem of not only oneself but also of everyone and everything, neither high self-esteem nor low self-esteem. Clear? So, how do we define humility? Because many times humility is understood as thinking yourself as low, because it is said Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. It is said that one should be as humble as the blade of grass and as tolerant as tree, and one should give all respect to everyone and one should not expect any respect from anyone. In this humble state of mind, one can always chant the holy name. So then what constitutes humility? Okay. Giving respect to others, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's very nice answer. Humility is acceptance of truth in the mood of love. What is humility? It is called humility. Humility is acceptance of truth in the mood of love. So acceptance of truth is Krishna is great, I am infinitesimal. Means I am very, very small. Krishna is great and I am very, very small. So, but when this is accepted in the mood of love, then what happens? Then one wants to actually respect everything which is connected to Krishna, because everything belongs to his lover who is great. So naturally one becomes Manada. Naturally one becomes Manada, because one sees everything and everyone in relation with Krishna who is great. So I love Krishna, but I am very insignificant. This is Amani. Okay. But I love Krishna, and all these people or all these things which I see, they belong to Krishna. They are Krishna Jana. They are Krishna Jana. They all belong to Krishna. They all belong to my great Krishna. So therefore I have natural respect for all of them. I have natural respect for all of them. Right? So since I have natural respect for all of them, then being humble and being tolerant becomes my nature. It becomes my nature. It becomes my nature. So humility simply is acceptance of truth in the mood of love. Both should be there. Acceptance of truth should be there, and mood of love also should be there. Both should be there. Then one can become very humble. That's why we see that all great devotees who are in love with Krishna, they are all very humble. They are all very humble. And then they also see things like that. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to when his disciples paid obeisance to him, what did he say? He used to say, Dasosmi, I am your servant. And Prabhupada said that my Guru Maharaj sent all of you. Prabhupada told his disciples, my Guru Maharaj sent all of you boys and girls to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. I am so grateful to all of you. So we see that that mood of humility naturally comes to them. It naturally, it is not like they are artificially thinking, like I am artificially thinking I should say that I am very humble. My Guru Maharaj says one pastime. He says that he went to Prabhupada and told him that Prabhupada, I am the most fallen person in this world. And Prabhupada told him, you are not the most anything. So this is what he said here, that humility is not artificial self-esteem. It's not artificial low self-esteem. That you keep saying, oh Prabhuji, I am the most fallen. You wait till someone else tells you that. And then you see how you are reacting to it. You are going around telling, oh, I am the most fallen, I am the most fallen. Let someone tell you, Arey, you are the most fallen. Then what will you say? Arey, tum most fallen hai, tumhara baap most fallen hai, tumhara pardata most fallen hai, mujhe most fallen bolta hai. So in 1 second, the whole scene will change. When you are telling it's okay, but when someone else tells you, then what happens? Then oh, I am grateful. Okay, good. Confirm. You are full. So, humility is not something which is artificial, but of course, we should practice it because we are naturally proud. We are naturally proud. In this material world, ahankara is the most natural thing. This natural pride of every living entity is naturally proud. Not only the human being, every living entity is naturally proud. They want to make their presence felt. They want to make their presence felt. They're naturally proud. So, therefore, we have to practice humility. But we should understand humility is a very exalted aspect of surrender. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam, rakshasiti vishwaso, goptatve varanam tata, atmanikshepa karpanye shadvida sharanagati. So, it is very easy to accept what is favorable. That is the first thing. We should accept what is favorable. That's what we have done. We accepted what is favorable to Krishna consciousness. Then it is little more difficult to give up what is unfavorable. When people come to Krishna consciousness, they accept to chant the holy name, they accept to eat prasad, they accept to sing kirtan, they accept to dance in the kirtan, they accept Vaishnava Sangha. All these things they accept very easily. The moment you start saying you should give up onion garlic, you should give up coffee, tea, you should give up meat eating, then they start thinking, oh, you have to give up so many things. It's little difficult to do pratikulyasya varjanam. But if you actually do this both, then the natural consequence of that is that you will understand that Krishna is protecting us. Because we think that the different aspects of the material world is what is protecting us, We think like that. So, that is why we want to earn money, we want to have relatives, we want to get married, we want to have society, this, so many things. We want to have some security. We have to have some security. We look for some security. So, but when we understand that we accept things which is favorable and we give up things which is unfavorable, then we become more happy. Then we understand, oh, Krishna is protecting us. When we accept Krishna's protection, then we can also see Krishna's maintenance. Till we accept Krishna's protection, we cannot experience Krishna's maintenance. So, that is the next step. Goptatve varanam. When we understand Krishna is protecting us, Krishna is maintaining us, then why are we giving ourselves to anybody else? We will give ourselves to Krishna only. Then comes Atmanikshepa. After that comes real humility, Karpanya. After that comes humility. So, therefore, humility is an exalted conception of acceptance of truth in the mood of love. Okay. So, Lord Brahma appointed Daksha as the chief of all Prajapatis. This is the worst thing you can do to a person who is proud. Make him in charge. That is the worst thing to a person you can do to a person who is very proud, because he is sure to fall down. Okay, please read next.
Daksha began sacrifice named Vajpaya, and he became excessively confident of his support by Lord Brahma. He then performed another great sacrifice named Brahaspati Sava.
While the sacrifice was being performed, many Brahma rishis, great sages, ancestral demigods, and other demigods, their wives, all very nicely decorated with ornaments, attended from different parts of the universe.
The chaste lady Sati, the daughter of Daksha, heard the heavenly denizens flying in the sky, conversing about the great sacrifice being performed by her father. When she saw that from all directions the beautiful wives of the heavenly denizens their eyes very beautifully glittering, were near her residence, and were going to the sacrifice dressed in a fine clothing and ornaments, with earrings and necklace with lockets. She approached her husband, the master of the Bhutas, in great anxiety and spoke as follows.
Sati said, "My dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law is now executing great sacrifices, and all the demigods, having been invited by him, are going there. If you desire, we may also go."
I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrificial ceremony with their husbands just to see their relatives. I also desire to decorate myself with ornaments given to me by my father and go there with you to participate in that assembly.
My sisters, my mother's sisters, and their husbands, and other affectionate relatives must be assembled there. So if I go, I shall be able to see them, and I shall be able to see the flapping flags and the performance of the sacrifice by the great sages. For these reasons, my dear husband, I am very much anxious to go.
This manifested cosmos is a wonderful creation of the interaction of the three material modes or the external energy of the Supreme Lord. This truth is fully known to you, yet I am but a poor woman, and as you know, I am not conversant with the truth. Therefore, I wish to see my birthplace once more.
So this is very, very interesting statement, because Maya herself is saying that she is in Maya. Very, very interesting statement. It's a very interesting statement. So we should understand that the Supreme Lord controls Maya also. That Maya also can be illusioned by the Supreme Lord. Even though she is the illusory energy and she puts everybody into illusion, she also can be illusioned by the Supreme Lord. Very interesting statement.
O never born, O blue-throated one, not only my relatives but also other women dressed in nice clothes and decorated with ornaments are going there with their husbands and friends. Just see how their flocks of white airplanes have made the entire sky very beautiful.
O best of the demigods, how can the body of a daughter remain undisturbed when she hears that some festive event is taking place in her father's house? Even though you may be considering that I have not been invited, there is no harm if one goes to the house of one's friend, husband, spiritual master, or father without invitation.
Okay. So logically, Sati is explaining different reasons why she should go. The first set of reasons she gave was that she said, all my relatives are there, I want to see them, so I should go there. Okay. Then Lord Shiva might object, saying that, but your father doesn't even consider you as a relative. Okay. Then she gave reply to that by saying that he may not consider me as my relative, but because I am attached to him and I am attached to my birthplace, I want to consider him as my relative still. Then Lord Shiva might object that, that's fine, but nobody might recognize you. You may go there, you may be there like an outsider. Then she gave reply that even outsiders are also going there. Not only that my relatives are going there, even outsiders are also going there. So even if you say that I am not a relative, I am only outsider, I can go as an outsider and come back. What is the big deal? Then Lord Shiva might object, saying that they are all invited.
O immortal Shiva, please be kind towards me and fulfill my desire. You have accepted me as half of your body. Therefore, please show kindness towards me and accept my request.
So she gave the ultimate reason why she should go. That in spite of all whatever objection you have, I am your wife and I desire. So therefore you should send me. Okay. So this way she gave lot of reasons why she should go. So now what is going to happen? Okay, please read.
The great sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva, the deliverer of Hill Kailash, having thus been addressed by his dear wife, replied smilingly, although at the same time he remembered the malicious, heart-piercing speeches delivered by Daksha before the guardian of the universal affairs.
So the first thing we should understand here is how Lord Shiva handles Sati.
Smilingly.
That she was saying something which he doesn't like, but he didn't just give her sauce, boka, talk. He was smiling. He was smiling. So that's the first response. He was smiling. Okay.
The great Lord replied, "My dear beautiful wife, you have said that one may go to a friend's house without being invited, and this is true, provided such a friend does not find fault with the guest because of bodily identification and thereby become angry towards him."
Okay. So now Lord Shiva did something very nice. What did he do? He actually spoke very sweetly to Mother Sati. Okay. He said that Toyoditam Shobhanam Eva Shobhane. Shobhane means what? My dear beautiful wife. So therefore it's very good way of especially this dealing between Lord Shiva and Sati is very good lesson to actually understand how to counsel a person who is very disturbed, who is working, who is under you and who is very disturbed. It's a very nice way of understanding this. Sati is very disturbed and she wants to get what she wants to get, and Lord Shiva is trying to tell her that this is not good for you. This is not good for you. So the first thing he does is that he does not directly refute her. She said many points. Okay, why she should go? She said many points. So out of that, Lord Shiva picked up the first point where he could agree something with her. Because he is going to overall disagree with her, so he didn't start with disagreement. He started with agreement. So that immediately pacifies the person little bit, because if someone comes very disturbed to you and you keep on disagreeing with him, he is going to get more and more disturbed. The first point he did was he actually glorified her. He told her, you are a very beautiful wife. So by saying that, he actually confirmed to Sati that even though I am going to speak things which is not very pleasing for you, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. I am still attracted to you. I still see you as my beautiful wife. Means that you may have disagreement, but at the same time you should also express that you care for that person. That is very important. If you just express disagreement, then it is natural that the person in front of you might start thinking that you don't care for that person. So it's very important, okay, to actually first of all establish that principle, that there may be disagreement, there may be some disturbance, but I care for you. I care for you. And the second is, find something where you can agree and start with the point of agreement. Don't start with the point of disagreement. Now he found something which he can agree. So he started from that point. Even though that is not the first point she told. She told first point something else. Now then he will continuously address various other things. Okay. So he said that this is true, but it has some rider clause. The rider clause is that they should not find fault. Okay. Now he is continuing. Okay, please speak. Read.
Although the six qualities education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage are for the highly elevated, and who is proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities.
Yeah, so here he is also saying that not only you are very good, your father is also great. He does not say that, oh, he is stupid guy, he doesn't know what kind of guy he is unintelligent person. He doesn't say all that. He says he is a person who possesses great qualities. He is a person who possesses great qualities. So he not only acknowledged the importance of Sati, he also acknowledged Sati's feelings she has for her father as a great man, because she knows my husband is also a great man, my father is also great man. So he acknowledged that feelings. He said, yes, your father is great man, he possesses great qualities, but unfortunately he became proud because of those qualities. So therefore he has become blind and he has lost his ability to appreciate good qualities from others. So this is also another lesson for us, that the moment we try to establish our superiority, then that same moment we will stop seeing the good qualities in others. This is very important to remember in peer association, because the natural tendency in peer association is to somehow or other show that I am better than you, I can distribute more books than you, I can preach to more youth than you, I can do better service than you. It's natural. It's natural to actually show. So when we try to do that, then immediately we lose the ability to appreciate the good quality in others. So therefore, that's what Lord Shiva is saying, that he has many good qualities, but he became proud. So therefore, he is unable to appreciate others' qualities. So what to do? Okay. Is it?
However, one should not go to anyone's house even on the consideration of his being a relative or a friend. When the man is disturbed in his mind and looks upon the guest with raised eyebrows and angry eyes.
Okay. So now he is saying why you should not go. Okay.
Lord Shiva continued, if one is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative. For such grief continues to rend one's heart day and night.
Yeah, so this is also another important thing which we should remember, that we should not, even there may be some reason to speak very strongly, but still we should refrain from speaking very strongly, because it is very difficult for people to forget what is spoken, especially when they are spoken very strongly to, when they are sometimes chastised or spoken very strongly to. Very difficult for them to forget. So therefore, we should be very careful. So that's what Lord Shiva is saying here, that day and night I cannot forget it. It gives me grief. Okay.
My dear white complexed wife, it is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the pet. Yet you will not be honored at his house, because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with me.
Yeah. So even though Sati did not say in so many words why she actually wants to go, Lord Shiva actually understood that why she wants to go. So therefore, Lord Shiva addressed that point which is there in her mind, but which she never expressed. Sati actually wanted to go to establish the position of Lord Shiva. That was her only intention. She wanted to go to her house. She was thinking that I am very pet daughter to my father. My father is very angry with my husband. But the moment my father sees me, then he will become very loving. He will forget all the anger. Just because by seeing me, he will become very loving. And then I will be able to tell my father that, see, you have misunderstanding with my husband. He is a great man. Don't have this misunderstanding. And this way I will solve the whole problem between my father and my husband. So that is what she was thinking. That was her plan. That is why she wanted to go. But she never said that. She said everything else other than that. But Lord Shiva clearly understood what is there in Sati's mind. So therefore, he addressed both this thought process which was there in her mind. The first thought process, that she is pet. He said, yes, yes, you are a pet. That is true. But your father has become so hard-hearted that even though you are the pet daughter, even though he will see you, he will only remember me. He will not consider that you are the pet daughter. So therefore, you are going to feel very sorry. You are going to feel very sorry, he told her. Okay.
One who is conducted by false ego and thus always distressed, both mentally and sensually, cannot tolerate the opulence of self realized persons. Being unable to rise to the standard of self realization, he envies such persons as much as demons envy the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So now, in the beginning, we said that this pastime has no demons. Okay. This pastime has no demons. But this pastime has a demon. What is the demon? The demon is envy. And that demon is now being identified now by Lord Shiva. That in the assembly of devotees, there is no chance of anyone being demoniac. But when one becomes envious, that envy is as good as a demon in the assembly of devotees. So therefore, we should be very, very careful not to let this demon of envy enter our heart. Okay, we'll stop here. It's 1:30. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll come back at 2:30 and then we'll continue in this chapter.